Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Hope everybody's having a good day. I am. I've been just playing with my stuff. Can I just say, I think we should have 4-day weekends every week. Just saying. I took Friday off. So, I've had 4 days off, and it's still not enough time. But I got to, like, spread everything out and procrastinate my heart off, and still got everything done. I have a couple more things I need to do, but I'm doing this right now, guilt-free. Every stitch of my laundry is done. So, per usual, I feel, I'm here after a holiday to see the aftermath. Sorry, I should have done this first. Trust me, I did enough things first. I'm convinced the getting ready process is part of my meditating. You know, and that would make sense because if one of my guides is possibly my dad, that would make sense. More and more I'm realizing we used to have a barn and he used to do whatever whatever he did. It was just this place, and he probably lost track of time just like I do, and I get it. My God, if I had a barn, wow. I don't think I'd ever come out if I had a barn to my disposal. Oh, there we go. Anyway, so I did a little pre-shuffle, and I actually left it out because it would be too much to write down, and I've already taken enough time. But first I want to mention, it's the new moon in Aquarius tomorrow morning, actually, specifically at 7:01 a.m., which also coincides with an annual solar eclipse. And with the Chinese New Year, bringing in the year of the fire horse, so it's like so much change is coming. But if you're feeling like I am, I've been kind of like feeling like change has been happening, right? Still can't put my finger on it. But yeah, definitely so many changes have happened for myself personally, and other people that I know over the past few years. It's quite astounding, actually. Like, just think of 2020. How much has changed in your life since 2020? Probably quite a bit. So, get ready, because the changes, every time I think about it and when I meditate about like the energies and stuff and what I'm feeling and how it kind of meshes in with my own experience and stuff like that, because we are collective, we are. And I always reference when Michael Jackson said that when he gets an idea in the middle of the night, he gets up and does something with it before Prince gets it. And I think there's something to that. You know, we're all connected somehow. How? I don't know. I don't know the answers to that, but I think when there's like an overall collective vibe, the sensitive ones, we kind of pick up on it. And that's when we're like, I feel anxious for no reason, or, you know, stuff like that. So, what I've kind of picked up on is already changes happening, but what I think those changes have been is finding out we're coming out of the year of the snake. So shedding that skin, you know, I'm getting chills thinking about it, because I've just kind of found out about that since everybody's been talking about it, because at the end of the year, and like, okay, so now it's the year of the fire horse, and I was like, come on. There's no year of the fire horse. There is. So that being said, the year of the fire horse, it's a 60-year cycle, so it's only really once in a lifetime. Yeah, we'll never probably see it again. The last one was in 1966, and the next one is 2086. So yeah, no, unless we're part AI, which could very well happen, we're not going to see the next one. So what this is starting is a period of intense energy and transformation and rapid change, bold action, independence. You say you want a revolution. Yeah. Whether it's in your own life or just in general, because, you know, if enough of us are changing, majority wins, right? I'm not talking about race, ethnicity, etc., etc. I'm talking about your vibration. Yeah. So it will be interesting. So, moving on. This little pre-shuffle situation here. I have got to be very super aware of my hair now, because it's very long. It's my hip now. When I was at work, sometimes lenses, I'm an optician, and sometimes I'll have lenses sent in already cut for eyeglasses, and I'll be putting them in the frames. Sometimes they're like 1 or 2 millimeters too big, and that's too big. So I have this wheel I can get out of this machine, and I can grind down a little bit at a time, right? So it's spinning, and I was doing it the other day. I had 2 braids, and I'm sitting there doing it. All of a sudden I was like, whoa! It was like my braid was teetering next to that wheel. I would have been on the news. I would have been on the news. It would have been a catastrophe, without exaggeration, for sure. Well, my hand might have stopped at first, but so I took my time and not. But yeah, I've got to be real aware of it now. Candles. But I love my hair. It's gotten this long before, and I've just chopped it off because it's been too much. But I don't feel that way this time. I feel like, maybe because the last time I cut it shorter, like here, it was probably 2020. I've had a couple little trims in between, but yeah. Whatever. Anyway, so this little pre-shuffle here. The first card that came out was the Lovers, and the cards, even though they're the same card, they'll look different to me I'll notice different things, or facial expressions on the drawings will look different. I can't explain it. This one, oh, I blacked it out so I can probably show you. This one, what I noticed was she's looking up at the angel, but he's still looking at her, so he didn't have a reaction. I don't know why I didn't notice that. He's just, or, like she looks up and he's looking at her like, what? Some shenanigans are going on there. I don't know. And the angel looks very unapproving. So that's how I kind of felt about that. I was like, what are you doing with him? Oh, what are you doing with her? I don't think it was her to him, because she looked up, so she has the association with this angel. Like, what are you doing with him? Alexa, skip. The next card out was the Nine of Swords. So I'm taking the Lovers as being kind of like being the decision. Like you've got to make a decision. Like, what are you doing with him? It does kind of seem like it's like a love triangle type of thing. I don't feel like you're cheating on anybody, but I feel like maybe you do have to decide between a couple of people. Yeah. Man or woman. So with the little cards that came out was the Nine of Swords, the Three of Cups, yeah, Nine of Swords, Three of Cups, and King of Cups and King of Swords. So the little picture I'm seeing here is you have, I feel like you're deciding between these two kings clearly. Again, man or woman, it's just the energy, you know. Obviously mature, of age probably, or at least soul. Yeah, bottom of the deck was the Tower too, so something's coming down and changing. So, when I kind of clarified all this, because at first glance it doesn't really mesh, and I was kind of looking at the different cards and seeing how I felt about them, and I'm like, alright, let's just see, because usually I don't do that for like a pre-shuffle. I kind of just let it come out and see what I get from that first vibe. But for this, a little different. I didn't clarify the Lovers because I feel like that said enough to me. For the Nine of Swords, what came out was the Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, and Seven of Swords. Part of me almost feels like deciding on anything that, like, I feel like this is like this decision where the Ten of Pentacles is coming up. Like, this is gonna be like long-term type of thing, right? I feel like deciding on anything like that you know is gonna like take work, and not in a bad way, just it is. You kind of feel like You just want to not have to deal with it. But I think you have to. I do think you have to. So I feel like you're trying to come up with the best strategy, and I think it's driving you crazy. I get a lot of these readings, and I know it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm not deciding between anybody. So that's what I kind of gather from that. And then coming down here to the three of Cups with Knight of Pentacles and the Star, kind of clarifying that you know what? I kind of feel like someone, maybe Valentine's Day. Maybe Valentine's Day. Maybe you got proposed to or something like that. Or, I don't know. I feel like someone... something happened that is like a reason to celebrate, right? And it seems to do like something solidifying you, like moving towards your future, like, you know, goals, wants, destinies. And for me, again, I'm kind of reading it two ways. It's like, okay, if someone kind of, if you're, someone kind of propositioned you to like, let's make this like a real thing, you know, maybe just kind of like dating. You're not, official, right? So you're dating these two people the most. And one of them comes at you and wants to kind of make it official, you know, move in that direction. So it's making you kind of think about it. And you know, it seems like it's the best thing to do, right? I feel like it's, and I feel like in that scenario, the King of Cups is the person who's come at you with this, right? And so everybody's like, oh, congratulations, blah, 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 blah. And, but little do they know, you're also seeing the King of Swords over here. And, again, so what? And again, I feel like you're like, you don't want to, you don't know what to do. You don't know if you want to make it official with this King of Cups because you don't want to not see this King of Swords, which right there screams a lot, right? It does. It does. So, going with that scenario, what I kind of saw for that was, it's almost like your pros and cons type of thing. Your King of Cups, I feel like, bang, is gonna be kind of like rule the roost, right? Yeah, I feel like once you kind of go down that path, even get married maybe, and what's going to come from that is loss and like regret. I think that's what you feel. You may not say that, Because it might, again, look like, I mean, it's the King of Cups, right? Everybody loves the King of Cups. But everybody doesn't live with the King of Cups. Some people are very good at being who they're supposed to be in front of other people, especially if it's only for a little bit at a time. But only people who live with them know when that facade comes off and they can't keep it up anymore, and who they really are. I think that's what that might be indicating, is like, okay, so once the masking has to come off, you're like, fuck. Yeah. Meanwhile, over here with the King of Swords, I feel like this is more of a fluid, which is ironic, you know. But King of Swords, yeah, it's more of like a fluid thing, because this came out with the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups, so I feel like it's more of a journey, like a soft journey, like it flows better, and then it goes from the journey and then into, you know, the offer. It's a very gentle, like, offer, like open, kind of love. Yeah. That's if you're choosing between two people. If you are just trying to decide whether or not to go forward, with just one person, I feel like the King of Cups and the King of Swords are indicating your heart and your mind decision. And I think your heart is saying, you know, go ahead and, yeah, rush into it with this proposal. And your head is kind of saying, why don't we just go along a little bit, you know? And then, you know, the cup will build. I think that's what it is. Let's see if we can balance this cup on this horse. How much water are we going to have left by the time we get there? Yeah. It's not always about the coin. So either way, that's a good reason to be a little kept up about it. So again, you know, I don't know. Maybe some of you got the pressure. Again, I'm thinking because it's like Valentine's Day. Maybe you got the pressure. You know, that's why I like doing it afterwards, because some of you guys are probably leading up like, la 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 la. Everything's fine. Everything's good. I'm probably just going to do the same thing I did last year. We'll be good. We'll eat. We'll drink. We'll be merry. And now they're like, that's it? Someone was expecting more. Yeah, and you're like, what? Huh? Why would you think that? Society tells them that. I got a bunch of new cards. I did. So today, I'm going to start out with this Oracle deck. We'll see if a couple come out or whatever. And then I want to get your animal Oracle card for this. And then we'll go on to the reading. I think I'll just do a Celtic Cross for this one. I'll get the vibe, and then I'll do a Celtic Cross. This one is, it has reversals. This one has, 2 different meanings on each side, so I'm like, oh, I have to. I can't just always be like, la la la, it's always the happy one. Not for this. You know, for, tarot, it's different. I still have some more I want to get. Because I found this deck I never saw before on Amazon. You know, if you go around the right, oh, you might like this. And sometimes you'll run into good things. And that's kind of like what happened. I was like, oh, I do like this. And then that kind of opened up a whole trajectory of that style of deck. I have a lot. I can easily make shelves. Easily. Cross that bridge when we get there. I don't like this. I hate mixing them up. At least it's not regular cards, so it doesn't feel as bad. Alright, I already got one that came out. I have, I saved everything. But, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna do some more. There's only so much I can do, right? No! Oh! You know what's funny? A couple have fallen out, but they've been face down, so I haven't taken them. So they're like, no, I'm not taking all of these either. It's really funny how I keep getting like love stuff. Maybe it's just the time. Yeah, it's probably. I'm gonna get one more of these Oracle. You know what's really funny is when you notice or you realize divine timing, or like something was delayed, like all of a sudden you get that moment and you're like, that's it. That's why I was put on pause. I had that happen recently. It's pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's why. Thank you. When you're kind of like detoured from something. You know, when you're not listening and it happens, you don't realize when it started to kind of happen and started to kind of move you. And you're like, what's going on? What are all these detours? What are these roadblocks? Oh. Well, 4 came out, so that's fine. So I'll take the last 2 together. So we have focusing on lack may be limiting your manifestations. Celebrate what is already. Celebrate what is already. Impatience may be blocking alignment. Let go of urgency. That kind of goes together too, right? Focusing on the lack. Don't be like, I should already have this. Just be like, okay, but I have this, and this will be coming. Patience, yeah. Gratitude, patience. Illumination. Truth and clarity are being revealed. You are seeing things as they truly are. Seek deeper understanding, journal, meditate, or ask for signs to guide your path. Oh wait, let me see that. Okay. And fulfillment. True emotional satisfaction comes from within. Your happiness is not dependent on external factors. Acknowledge what is already fulfilling in your life. Again, find joy in the present moment. Yeah, they're telling you clearly. To be present. Journal, meditate, let go of the urgency, celebrate what is already. Yeah, yep. Be in the moment. And I think pertaining to a little pre-shuffle, what I would say is, don't, whichever scenario it is, don't project. How do you feel right now? Not how it might end up. You have no idea how it might. You have no idea how it might end up. None. So, how do you feel right now? Okie dokie. I'm gonna get one of the new animal decks. This is called the Wild Elemental Oracle deck. It's really, I like it. I do. Alright, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's better. Let's get an animal oracle card, please, for collective. This awesome drawing I'm working on. Come on, good. Come on, great. Even. Probably gonna do that for a little bit after this. It's already 2 o'clock. Every weekend's like the last day of summer. I just wanna stay home and play with my toys. I get it, Dad. He didn't like hang out. He didn't have a lot of friends either. He didn't have any friends that I know of. Just at work. Just at work. Well, because like having to do stuff with other people cuts into your time of doing the stuff you want to do yourself. You can't do it with other people. I get it. I know I could live in a tiny house now, because I couldn't stay in this room for days. I know I could anyway. I don't require much to be happy, really. Give me a couple things in the doll so I can dress up. There you go. The stag. Oh, that's good. One of them, the numbers I could not make out what number it was. Like, oh my god. It wasn't even so much the size, it was the colors and the patterns. I was like, what the hell? I'm old. I'm old. I'm not old. I have a whole lifetime ahead of me. But my body doesn't think that. It's starting to, show signs. Okay, the stag is an earth element. Gentleness. Ability to move through life with grace. Innocence, sensitivity, intuition, ability to change directions quickly. I'll make sure my cat wasn't by it. Okay. The stag shows up in your life when you need to quiet the inner critic and be gentle with yourself. Give to yourself the understanding and kindness that you That's a typo. Give to yourself the understanding and kindness that you are quick to give to others. None of us are perfect. We are all on this road together to learn and grow. Growth does not happen without walking a challenging path. And with that comes making mistakes. If you are not making mistakes, you are not growing. When it comes to your relationships with others, know that you cannot force change on anyone. All you can do is gently show them a new path by walking it yourself. Wow, is that true and does it resonate? You know, you just gotta worry about yourself. And by the time it seems most of us realize that that's not being selfish, and it's actually helping other people, we're my age. Or my kids, because they're pretty intelligent and enlightened, even though one of them doesn't like to admit it. It's not the Leo. Oddly enough, it's my Scorpio who's like, I don't like that stuff. I'm like, okay. Talk to me in a few years, I guess. Before we get into the reading, I'm going to just pause for a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. All right. I'm gonna get a little like starting message to bridge and then get into the Celtic cross. Thank you, sir. Can you give me a little vibe to the reading for me? What's the energy like right now? Five. Ooh. Thank you. Oh, we get the world on the bottom. This is a lot. Usually I don't take all of those, but I will. So we have the Messenger of Water, which I believe is a page of water, page of cups. The Eight of Cups, Six of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Magician. You know, with the world being the, you know, new beginning, end of a cycle indication, bridging from the pre-shuffle, you know, maybe it's a mixture of both messages that were coming through. I don't know. It seems kind of like, you know, you've had some emotions or feelings that have come up that you've had to face. And ultimately, I feel like you've had to move on from certain people. I think not just in love, I think just in general across the board. I think it's like, I think it's, you know, people who might have once felt like home to you. You know, so I think we'll see what the reading says, but I think that's all part of it too. I think it's like, maybe this isn't, maybe the emotions that you're dealing with are, you know, in deciding whether or not to actually, like, commit to somebody, that's something you haven't had to think of. You know, you haven't had to go down that path, really. So maybe that's what it's doing. That's bringing back your nostalgia, and that's making you think of times in the past when you've had to walk away from people you never thought you'd have to walk away from. And you're like, I don't want to do that again, regardless of who it is, right? So you kind of keep it light with everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. You kind of don't, I kind of did that at first. I did want to date. I did want that, human connection. I did. But I didn't want the depth. So it wasn't a lot of people, but there was like 3 who I could kind of like, you know, get my little fix from, even if it was just talking, you know, whatever. It didn't have to be a sexual thing all the time. So, but that's kind of like what I feel like you're doing. It's kind of like you've been in this not antisocial, so no one can really accuse you of that, but still not really substance. And now you're coming to a point that you're having to face it, and you're like, I think what this is saying is that you maybe have to look at things a little bit different, because you're kind of like at a different place now. The King of Earth, I feel like you're way more like grounded than you were, and with the Magician, I feel like you've learned a lot since fill in the blank. Knowledge is a double-edged sword sometimes, though, too, because maybe now you're like, yeah, but look at it, I have all the tools on my own. That's hard too, because that's kind of where I am. I've always had the tools on my own, and that's frustrating too. Not that I ever thought I didn't have the tools. I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm very I do very well independently. You know, and where you're seeking some of that, maybe you don't. Not everybody likes to be by themselves. Not everybody thrives in like independence like that. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you're independent, but you still might need that human. And I think that's bothering me too. You're like, I need to pick somebody. I'm never gonna. So it can be a bunch of different people feel in a bunch of different ways. Like not wanting to give up your independence. And some of you are like, oh, I'm kind of done with this. But you don't want to regret it either. And some of you I see just don't want to give up that one specific person. And it's like, well, why don't you just be with them then? So there must be something. But you don't want to be unavailable for them. Even though you're not with them. Exclusively. Don't do that. Save yourself some time. Don't do that. Okay. Now I will lay out the I'll lay out the spread, so we're not sitting there waiting for cards to flip out for a million gajillion years. This deck is pretty. I'm not disappointed with any of the decks I got. Usually this one I'm like, that's not what it looked like in the pictures. This one deck that comes in 3 different versions, and it's very confusing when you're ordering. I think, no, I have 2 in my cart. But one's like an Oracle deck and one's a Tarot deck, and I'm like, well, it just changes the color in the selections, Amazon. And so you'd think it would be like the same deck kind. It's not. It's fine. They're all pretty. Alright. Thank you, Spirit. Let's dig a little deeper into the story. 10 of Wands, fellow. It's been a long road, my friend. Ten of Cups. It's been a long road that will be handsomely rewarded. Alright. I think my cat is learning how to sleep and sit at pillows like a human. I'll update. She's very smart and she watches us sometimes, and I'm like, you're watching to try to figure it out. I know you are. She's Siamese, which doesn't mean anything, but they are smart. She's smart. Like, you know. I like these cards. They're all my favorite, like, colors. And it's like pink, I'll show you, pink and orange and purple and yellow. I love all these colors lately. I am, like, obsessed with colors lately. These in particular, I was just thinking about doing my living room. Like a purple and orange. With teal. Yes. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Alright guys, let's see here. So, for the vibe of the situation, Four of Pentacles. That makes sense. The challenge is the Five of Pentacles. So, again, holding on to your independence and your foundation and everything that you have. Because I feel like whenever you lost whatever you had before, it really affected you more than I think you let on. So the vibe is you're like holding on very tightly to everything, to your very like essence almost. The challenge, it's because you don't want to feel left out. You don't want to feel lack. You don't want to feel you don't want to take a chance and have something happen to your finances, you know, by having to worry about somebody else. Yeah. You're like, I don't want it. I don't want it. Root of the issue, King of Wands. I can take that a couple of different ways. We'll see how it goes, but it could be the literal root of why you are the way you are, and this is like your ex. And if that's the case, the King of Wands, yeah. If it's indicating him in like the negative light, he would be, you know, flirty and probably definitely cheating and stuff like that. Yeah. In the not, in like a different avenue, it could be because you feel like you're in your King of Wands, you know, vibe, like you have your foundation in your independence and you don't feel like in a lack mentality. Yeah, that could be it too. It could be a little bit of both. Recent past, the world, so yeah, that ending of that cycle and the new beginning, so that's, yeah. I don't want to just brush by it like, oh, ending a new beginning, because that's like, the world is like, it was like, I don't know when, but whenever the ending happened, the most fresh one, you know, to that's making you a little for moving on, that cycle. It could have even went a little bit further on until you started thinking differently. What's on your mind now is Two of Wands, making plans, for your future, and yeah, which way is that gonna go? What does your future look like? And now you have this that came into it, and you're like, you have to make this decision, or you don't even have to. Actually, you can be like, I am not ready to make that kind of decision right now. Honestly, if it's like we need to make this official. No, we don't at all. I don't have to do anything. First off. Well, let's just get that clear. Yeah, so you're thinking about, I think that's what, it was saying in the beginning of your oracle cards, like, stop projecting and be right now. Future Knight of Wands. So yeah, it's already on its way to you. The Knight of Wands, this card too, yeah. A lot of times the Knight of Wands is looking behind them, so you're moving like full steam ahead after like your passions, but you're like, kind of like, did I make the right choice? So it seems like maybe in the future you do decide whatever your trajectory, whatever your path is, and you're going, but you're like, oh my god, which is what you didn't want. You are indecisive, my friend. I get it. I can't even decide on a toothbrush within like 5 minutes. I'll sit there and be like, and I'll end up with like the first one. My daughter's like, I cannot. So your current energy right now, Knight of Cups. Yeah. Whichever way you look at it, I feel like you're going after things you love in your life, and you also have your love offers that are coming in a little bit more seriously now. Maybe it's been a little bit, and then you're like, since you're coming up as kings, I feel like they're like, we're not that young. We can't like, but you can. You can do whatever you want. There's people who get married when they're like 80. You don't have to get married. I would like to do the ceremony. Just to do it. We don't necessarily really have to get married. Your environment is the Page of Swords. You know what? With that Three of Cups earlier, as part of kind of like your influence of like people being like, oh, that's great, like so happy for you. I feel like the Page of Swords, I feel like you have a lot of people yapping in your ear. And I don't think that's helping you at all. You know what? In my life, I find the times when shit hit the fan was when other people were involved. Yep. Or had their 2 cents. Because no matter what, even if you're like, I don't care what they say, you still have it in your head. That's what I think your environment is. Hopes and Fears, Knight of Swords. I hear it, like you just wishing someone would come in with some enlightenment. I think bottom line, I think the truth also is what you want. That you'll be able to speak your truth. You just want to be, what I'm getting from that is, you just want to be yourself. And the possible outcome, Queen of Swords. You know, I think whether you end up with somebody or not, or one person rather than the other, or whatever, I think you do come out from this a little bit more enlightened. And this first queen, this is the first queen we're seeing. I think that is indicating you were able to let down all this masculine guarding and worrying and planning and strategy, and kind of just, you know, if you listen to your oracles and be in the now and kind of just, you know, let it flow, you can still set those boundaries with your sword, right? But you can do it in a more kind of like gentle way to yourself, not to anybody, not for anybody else's benefit, for you, because you're driving yourself crazy. You don't have to decide anything. Let them fall, if they may. So, yeah, bottom of the deck, Six of Cups. There's that nostalgia feeling again. Yeah, and again, with wanting to be able to come into whatever it is you're walking into as yourself, I think you're your home, and I think if anybody else is gonna come into your home, they have to smell the same. Does that make sense? Everybody's house smells different. I remember, this is so weird. It's such a weird and random memory. With my oldest daughter's father, when we broke up and like he moved out and he was living with somebody else, I remember he came over and I hugged him or something, and I was like, you smell different. He's like, what do you mean I smell different? And I'm like, you smell different. And yeah, he was living someplace else. Sure, he smelled like that house, but he smelled different, and he was part of it, you know, now. It wasn't like, I don't know, I couldn't explain it. That was the main house now, you know? Oh, it's so hard to explain, but I was like, oh, you smell different. Like, I feel like up until that point when he went there, he smelled like our house. Yeah. Weird. Oh, I wanted to show you some of these cards. They're really very pretty. So pretty. I love the colors. How's your glasses? These are real pretty. The next ones I'm going to clarify if they're real pretty too. I think I'm going to go around once. It's already been an hour and 20 minutes. And like 6 hours of getting ready. I'm working. I'm getting there. My environment is starting to calm and be clean and organized in the way I want it. So I feel like it's almost like nesting. I can't explain it, but I don't know. I'm just not putting any pressure on the process. If I can make a video, I can. I would like to start a schedule. I will. You know, I do have some ideas for things, again, for my other channel, so I'm just kind of seeing how things go right now. I'm just enjoying myself, pretty much. And hopefully helping somebody see things in a different way. Sometimes you just need that different perspective. I'm not here to BS you. I'm just telling you what I see and what I think about it. These are pretty too. These are stained glass. That's so pretty. Stupid ring light. I hate it. I hate that light. I need to find something else. I need to get like one of those squares or something. I hate it. I hate everything about it. The arm's too stiff. It doesn't move the way I want it to. It's like... It's in a good spot right now. I don't have to like mess with it, but it is terrible. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I'm grateful to have it, but I hate it. Okay. Tell me about the Four of Pentacles, please. I wonder if I should sleeve these up too. I think I am. I think it's a yes. Alright. Alright, Spirit, I'm just gonna leave these out too on top. So do your thing. The Devil. Hold on to old patterns. Old, coping mechanisms that helped you when you needed it. You may no longer need that anymore. The challenge, the Five of Pentacles, is, you know, feeling left out. It's almost like abandonment issues at this point, I feel like, and your clarification is Temperance. So it seems like you're trying to not, you're trying to let go of the devil. You're trying to let go of that mindset. You're trying to find your balance. Yeah. You know, while you're kind of saying to yourself, hermiting, be careful that you're not indulging. You know, don't be drinking too much by yourself. So King of Wands, I'm taking this as the X, because with the death that came out, you know, the death of who you were, when you were with that person, the destruction that they caused of you, the knowing that you won't be the person you were before them ever again. Like, you can never go back to feeling that way. Whatever part of you they took, you're dealing with that. You're dealing with the death of who you were. And it's like, if this happens again, I don't have any more. That's what I feel like. Yeah, and the recent past being the world, being, after this happened and you put an end to the person that you were and the life that you were living and all of that, the Two of Swords, deciding what to do next and also being defensive about it, like, leave me alone while I figure this out. And that's kind of where you gain that fierce independence, was because you had to figure it out by yourself. Every single decision was a battle, because it was your life. In your future, Two of Wands, planning for the future. And the Three of Cups. I feel like, that's what's on your mind. What's on your mind is planning for the future. I feel like this is a double-edged sword. I feel like, part of it is, finding your community. But I also think it's, figuring out who's coming with you, aside from this person. Because, you know what? A lot of the people you've accumulated as friends and associates and whatnot probably are linked to, this person. And that's probably why the nostalgia is coming up so much, because you're thinking about, prior to that, like, your friends and who you were and stuff. That's kind of like what I'm getting. I think you're thinking about nostalgia, like old friends and new ones. Like, you want to, like, your tribe, which, new and old, Knight of Wands. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles with a Knight of Wands with a Nine of Pentacles. So it's that, taking action towards your future, whatever it is, I think that's what you're looking back at, is, you don't want to lose your independence. I don't think you will. Even though you seem like you have a lot on your mind that you're, like, processing and dealing with, I don't see you as imbalanced. That makes sense. Okay, so Knight of Cups. In nine, another Knight and a 9. That's interesting. Nine of Swords, which came up before. Yeah, you have a lot on your mind. You have a lot on your mind about love offers that are coming in, and you have a lot on your mind of going after what you love. So that's appropriate. Page of Swords, Ace of Wands, your environment, people yapping in your ear. Everybody has something to say. The Ace of Wands, I feel like, you know, if that's you deciding between the two people, that's them cockfighting. And everybody else giving you their 2 cents about it. And I see people gassing you up about whatever that are ingenuine. You go around some questionable people. maybe they're just nodding to that, so you notice. Yeah, fair weather friends. Like, a lot of people like gas you up when it's convenient. I feel like everybody has something to say, and then I feel like you have 1 or 2 trying to like fluff their feathers in front of you. Yeah, hopes and fears. So the Knight of Swords, yeah. Knight of Swords, like I said, I feel like that's indicating in this particular reading that you want to be able to show up as yourself. Never again are you gonna like not, you know, regardless of the situation. And with the 5 of Swords, I feel like that is, you know, your hopes and fear. You fear that's gonna cause you standing your ground. It's a victory because you're standing your ground, but is it going to be a bittersweet one? You know, is it going to cause people to fall away that you didn't necessarily want to, but, you know, that's showing you something. I know it sucks. Or when you realize these people weren't your friends, really. They're just your friends by default. That sucks, too. Yeah. But I also see it as, like, you're winning at all costs. You know, someone has to lose. Eight of Pentacles. So, for the outcome, Queen of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. Regardless, you know, I think maybe through this whole process here, you are getting a little bit more enlightenment. Like I said, you are able to kind of step into your feminine a little bit more. Yeah, you know, the 9 of Pentacles showing up, you have a little bit more temperance showing up. And it's a work in progress. You're working on yourself, and that's the most important thing. It doesn't even mention who you might pick or who you don't. It's just, this is one thing that's coming up in your life that you're gonna have to like face, like, ugh. You know, I say it all the time, there are things that I've healed from, but I've never had to face the experience again. So I know in my brain what to do or what to watch for, but, you know, when you're in the moment and you're caught up with emotions, is it always easy to step back and be like, why do I feel this way? No. No. I've had to do it recently. I'm like, why is this happening? Like I said, the delays and the things, and now I feel like I'm like, oh. Let's see. 7 of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, I think you don't trust easily, which I get it. You don't. And you're waiting for truth to come out too, which I think is great. Again, delay as long as you can. Let that cream come to the top. People can only have their outside mask on for so long before you start to see cracks. And if you're experienced, you're gonna know that those are cracks, and it's not just the house settling. It's something. It's indicating that something is wrong. Yeah. Yep. I do believe it. These are real pretty too. Look at the death one. Real pretty. I love them. Okay. So, the last little thing I have here, these are Memento Mori. It's supposed to allow you to be in the moment and remember we're all gonna die. Basically, that's what it is. You're gonna die. So, enjoy right now. And I think that's perfect. Let's give a little bit of grounding to our collective. All right. You hold the key. No one else, just you. Do what makes your heart happy. It doesn't have to be that stressful. Every conversation is not the end of the world. Just live your life. You know? And again, if it goes back to having to decide between two people and you don't want to and they don't understand that, that's how you have to be. They're gonna do what's best for them. Everybody's doing what's best for them. You do what's best for you. Alright, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay in the moment. We're all gonna die. Like and subscribe if you're feeling my vibe. And I'll see you on the next reading.